silent stream. We are live. We should probably be live, are we not? Yes, we are. Oops. I pressed the wrong button. On my phone. Just got an important WhatsApp from my colleague. Like, bloody hell. Why are they even like bothering me? Like, what is this kind of stuff? Anyway, besides doing this, I will also click on this, then go to this one, then go to this one, then click on this, then click on this, and be sure that we are live, which we are. It appears. I'm just talking to myself on the screen now, which is interesting. Anyway, let's continue the game. So let's look at the moon. It's a striptease. Kinda. Just waiting for the game to react to our movements. Not be like all weird and kind of stuff. Wait a minute. It's actually far better. Although it is a little bit dark in here. Let's just turn down the sound a little bit. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. Are we fine? We are. With this. To be fair, I not really appreciate this look. Let's see. Subcontractor Ferrier, proceed immediately to the engineering module. We've been to medical and botany. Let's return to the hub, to the middle of the ship. And call for a thingy so we can go up. There we go. Now leaving biomedical module. Eugenics? Oh, we cannot get in that yet. It's cool. Let's go into this one. I guess there's a reason. The reason we are going down like this. Nice. That's interesting. Like I've seen that before. Ah. Magnet. That's it. Let's not press that. Let's go to engineering. We have two choices and we will take the left one. Access data here. We will. Put the our book in. Let it go download. That's now complete. Biomed complete. Almost there. Be careful with the Odin brain. It has more mental processing power than Luxembourg. Seriously though, don't drop it. This is H again. Goodbye. Luxembourg. Why Luxembourg? Why nothing else? Infintum technology. Mechanical engineering. Let's go to this one first. Because we will probably need to go to this one first. Captured 18 hours ago. Ah, interesting. So let's see. even Clive in Cryo, we know that. Nate is major control software ready, installing into drone. Okay, fine. Andrew's in Cryo. Bert, drone life support and manual control hardware ready, powering up drone. So Ned and Bert are in the drone. Sarah standing by as medical support for cryo procedures, so she is still there. Odin, doing AI stuff, of course, and Margaret Catwood, probably sleeping somewhere. Catwood. Does it mean that there's a cat?
I'll catch up with you. Okay. I'll catch up with you. Okay.
Earlier, when you decided to withhold information from Natalie about her medical scan.
Oxygen supply. Approximately 20 hours. 3 of 6 are in pots. We have some cryogenic facilities and all that kind of stuff. Try and recover this. Hi Sarah. You've said to take my time. Let me know when I'm ready to go into cryo, but I'm ready now. I'm doing this thing. It doesn't make sense to waste any more oxygen dragging my feet. Oh, right. I sent out a message to everyone who was left awake, but I just wanted to thank you for your patience and guidance. With your discretion, one wasn't sure about things. I know lots of people in your shoes would have said, fuck this guy. I don't have time for this. Insist the station depend on me, etc. But I really appreciate your caring. Even if you know that I was just trying to fight the inevitable. But I guess maybe that's what we are all doing. I guess we will see. Thank you for being my friend. I'm headed to cryo now. See you there. To sleep, a chance to dream. Hey, that's the rub. When it's sleep or death, what dreams may come. There, Bert is making fun of me because my parents were hippies and never got my gene filtered before I was born. Gene filtering? Sure. I'm sorry, Ned. Lots of parents don't get their children gene filtered, sometimes for religious reasons, sometimes because they are hippies. How's work going on the drone? Sorry, dog. I really focused on this bird. Bird? Making fun of me thing right now. When's the last time you slept? That's besides the point. Well, let's see. I'm ready to inform you of my mindset in case this crew does not survive the incident aboard Tacoma. I'm fully aware that crew members' current checkers medical scans indicate her chance of survival once subjected to cryogenic stasis are minimal. More humane to expire peacefully in cryotube than to asphyxiate on a dead station. Know that this way it was my own decision, made of sound. Made of sound mind. What? And that I take all responsibility for better or worse. Error. No data connection. 1% when data connection is restored, so no one would ever read this.
That was to avoid causing her undue stress.
Right.
What if you were unable to make that choice? If you had no choice?
Odin?
I would like to take this opportunity to remind you that Standard Venturis Corporation safety protocol requires all crew to enter cryogenic sleep immediately upon the loss of primary oxygen supply.
What?
As Tacoma Station's medical officer, it is within your power to order all crew to enter cryogenic sleep.
Odin, Nat and Bert are right in the middle of... Oh no.
Sarah, there is a fire suppression device. Suppression device the south wall of the drone bay, please.
Oh my god. Are you okay? Can you feel your feet and hands? Ew. Ow. My hip just hurts. Bert? Bert! 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 1, 2, 3. Bert, can you hear me? 1, 2, 3.
Auto-drone navigation software Ventura OS Lithia. Software update requested technician override required accepted updating auto-drone navigation software. Navigation software updated to you got hacked by net. The bread. 2088 fly me to the moon. Initializing auto-drone. Okay.
Nah, I'm good.
Ah, there we go. Completed revision. 92.8% chance of what? Integrating with the drone existing systems with no further complications. That I will have to do. Got it ready to slot. Just have loaded the code package into the menu. Injected dongle. Thanks, mate. I'll come and grab it. Way on the way. Okay. Look at this message. This one. To die, to sleep, no more, and by sleep, to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is here to sleep, chance to dream. I'm off to sleep for now, and now I wish for pleasant dreams, dreams of the success I'm sure you will bring us, Ned, Bert, and Sarah. I wish there were more I could do, but for now, good luck. It's so irresponsible. My parents loved me. They were just hippies. It's normal I'm going to ask Sarah. She said it's normal and you have to stop making fun of me. When is the last time you slept? Why do people keep asking me that? Well...
I'm hooked in. Gonna test the connection.
Okay, great. This'll only take a minute.
Power cell showing green. How's yours look, baby?
Voltage adapter in place. Ready to rock.
Hit it.
Oh my god. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3. Did it work?
What will you do now? What will you do now?
Isn't it obvious? There's no way this thing is going to fly.
Then tell me what you are going to do.
My head hurts.
Oh yeah.
On the back.
Oh, baby.
Ow. Oh. Ow.
I'm sorry. The smoke.
Smoke? I can't smell it.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I'm sure it's just...
I can't smell the smoke. Not do I have brain damage?
Baby, look at me. Hey, look at me. We're here. Together. That's what matters.
Nat?
Listen,
To get over the shock, but then we're going into cryo.
Sarah,
Drone is fucked.
what will you do now?
Isn't it obvious? There's no way this thing is going to fly.
Then tell me what you are going to do.
Our and Nat are injured. The drone is fucked. I'm going to give them a little time to get over the shock, but then we're going into cryo.
Sarah, please listen carefully. I am not telling you what to do, but I am mentioning that there is a door in the network technology module that is normally inaccessible to the crew, and it is true that you could, before proceeding to cryo, investigate that door.
What are you telling me here, Odin?
I have told you all that I can. Simple facts, nothing more.
Oh my god, Odin. Are my patients stable?
Yes,
Their conditions won't degrade if I leave them here?
they should not.
Nat, is there some door in networking that we can't normally get into?
Yeah, it's Odin's hardware compartment, but we're not allowed direct access. Why?
Where is it?
What have you got on your mind, Doc?
Please, I'm sorry. Look, that fire just burned up a lot of our time.
Here. It's here. In networking. You'll have to go through the maintenance shaft to get there. Here's the technical access code.
Okay.
08,
You
09.
don't let her go to sleep. And you don't let her move.
Sarah, what's going on?
I wish I knew. I'm gonna go find out.
08, 09. There we go. Unlocked. There we go. Oh, fine. Some music. Ah. Special access has been granted to the station AI physical processing compartment in the networking technology module. Remember that the AI recognition medium is highly sensitive and must be carefully extracted per the specifications of the advanced AI materials handling certification. Okay, that's fine. Personal quarters, network specialist. Attention! Contractor Ferrier. AI wetware access display. Okay. Go that way, not exit. Personal quarters on net. Voids only if you are looking for net. Check out the bungalow over in the map. It's really storage only. What is this even? Best cat favorite? Guess he had a cat. Actually kinda cool to see that. Join the AI liberation front. Maybe we need an airfoil or something. Sure. Network specialist office. Hello.
Hello and welcome to my stream. I hope you will enjoy it.
I'm here.
Odin, is this it?
That is the location I mentioned.
You're there? You're gonna need a crowbar or something.
No, it's open.
Sure enough, Ventura's corporate employees only beyond this point. Contractors face severe penalties for trespassing. Okay. Let's go in here first. Air conditioning in process. Yeah, 1 year ago.
Hey there, I'm Nat. Pleased to meet you.
Great. Sure, let's start there. There's some old logs. Been in here. Australian class AI runs in continuous operation for 180 many years. Fully capable of organic level independent thought and reasoning. Now continue with detailed technical specifications. Okay mate, listen. What's your Caprice score for independence? 4.68. Alright. Gonna work on getting that number up, you and me. It has been a whirlwind a couple of days after onboarding and loading out. And I know most of us are still adjusting to life in orbit, but I just want to say how excited I am to be working with all of you and Odin. A little background of myself. I come from an aerospace manufacturing family. One of my sister's first jobs at the factory back in Tacoma, the one on Earth, in Cascadia, whatever that is, was helping build pieces of this very station we are floating walking around in right now. I'm the first of the family to actually leave Earth and work on these facilities, and I've been many something. Really looking forward to getting to know you all for the coming year. I need to pass anything to the Venturo's bros, let me know. It's to a successful posting. We've looked at that. Clue dog. Faye. What? I mean, comrade, modern Shaik. What do you expect? And how's your new best friend? What's its name again? Odin, his name. And, I mean, fine so far. On AI. Kind of a goldfish, but I'm working on him. Yeah, trying to get one up here on Tengius, you know. It's all AI FL talks about. I believe it. Probably.
Hello, I am Odin. I look forward to working together.
Same here, mate.
This month already has... No. I have no idea what you were doing then. This month Aldian has been making small but steady gains in efficiency as per company directors. I've additionally been putting some of my own time into increasing his Caprine's ratings in creativity and performance, which you will find I've projected to have much more significant overall gains in productivity in the long term, which you would know if you read the report submitted as of 6 months ago, which I still haven't received a response to, so nobody's bloody reading it. In fact, you know what? I've never gotten a response of any of these. No, the system will give an automatic demerit. You don't turn one in every month. With your human eyes even Hey, fuck you guys. Also, Odin's gone crazy and massacring the crew. The station is full of mutants. Sincerely, network technology, wonderkind, and the all-around great person. Literally, I should actually put all-around great person in like every email I send from now on. Sarah, you're going to want to see this. I asked Odin to search on some stuff in the inventory. September 85. Garden of Paradise AI made. And an automated battery judgment test on VOD. Met AI. Nika has returned declining judgment scores last 4 weeks. It is. Okay. Confidential. Artificial intelligence development scale. Everything is going down in 85, then the new AI comes up. Stuff. No, it's just fine and going up. With Odin. Wait a minute. Ah. That's interesting. Look out. Still kind of makes me sick. Anyway. Let's follow you.
It's open. It's just hanging open.
What?
Ventura's regulations forbid contracting crew members direct access to AI hardware. But I cannot prevent you from proceeding.
Matt, I'm going in.
Okay, just be careful. Be careful.
Get access by authorized personnel only. AI Secure Communications Center. Ooh. Ooh.
Is this... What is all this? Communication records?
I cannot prevent you from accessing exposed data in this restricted area.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, he's recording. It is with great sadness that I address you today, February 29th, 2088. Mere hours ago, 6 loyal men and women, the crew of Lunar Transfer Station Tacoma, lost their lives serving Venturas, and all of us who rely on the orbital economy. Tragically, due to human error on the part of the crew, Venturas rescue technicians were not made aware of the catastrophic oxygen loss until it was too late. Our heartfelt thoughts and prayers are with their families. If only tragedies like this were avoidable. But in truth, they are. As we know, each minute that human workers spend stationed isolated in orbit is another opportunity for heroes like the crew of Tacoma to lose their lives. We at Venturas say no more. The partisan obstructionism that led to the failure of the Orbital Workers' Safety Bill has claimed its last victim. Today, we hereby renew our solemn pledge to fight for the legalization of fully automated orbital facilities. We encourage, we humbly beg everyone listening to this message to contact their OSEP representative and voice their support in honor of the crew of Tacoma. There never need be another tragedy like this one. And now, a moment of silence in their memory. Okay, and then we just cut it there, silent for a minute, and then what? Amazing Grace? No, I don't need another take. That was fine.
Prevent you from access restricted.
Yeah, he's recording. Yes. Yeah, he's recording.
Off-station message with VT AI handler. Net the AI directives transparent overrides all prior existing directives. AI shall explosively decompress all oxygen tanks. Disable all external communication channels accessible by crew. Fabricate data showing that oxygen and comms others were caused by misery impacts. Ensure crew enters cryogenic stasis ASAP. Stop. AI shall not contravene any aspect of the above directives. Provide crew with any information contradicting the above scenario. The orders effectively immediately. Will this not endanger the lives of Tacoma's crew? No, a rescue crew will be dispatched to retrieve once they are in cryo proceed with the above directives without expectation. We will be monitoring your actions via secure comms connection directly to Odin Unit's Cognitive Center. They basically set everything up. They record the message to say that they are dead. Not to be released before 29 February. Venturi's built localization strategy prepared especially for a search of Venturi by Venturi's corporate strategic AI. Following the failure of the Venturi's-backed Orbital Workers Safety Bill in OCAP Congress, there is no significant probability of the Human Oversight Accord being repealed. Without a repeal, Venturi's built facilities cannot begin operation. To this end, I have simulated a number of theoretical world events and estimated the impact on the successive OCAP Congress votes. Simulated world events include a precipitous decline of the orbital market and a standard strike by the Orbital Workers Union. The assassination of OSAP members opposed to and more. None of these definite motivated repeal of the... Okay. However, in the event that all crew of a major orbital facility were tragically lost due to an accident, not caused by negligence, calculate a 94% likelihood of the Accord being repealed within 3 months following this incident. This would allow Venturi-built facilities to begin operation immediately following this estimate. A reversal of Venturi's stock decline resulting in a record stock price with 1 year of Venturi-built beginning. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. You know, is there a facility that you would consider an ideal candidate if you were to move forward with the recommendations? Based on low public profile of crew on board and projected financial impact of the launch, the best option would be in the Venturi's fleet would be the Lunar Transfer Station Tacoma. I would recommend renewing all crew members aboard for a successive posting on Tacoma to allow for logistical organization of this operation. So basically what they did is they set everything up to start the market and get a lot of money by actually getting new crew members that don't know about anything what is happening. So it's like the perfect guinea pig and the perfect cover-up story at this point. Tacoma rescue craft launch scheduled. T-minus 1 hour and 26 minutes. Tacoma rescue craft launch cancelled. Relaunch scheduled for relaunch unscheduled. Rescue craft departure has been intentionally cancelled? Yes. Without a rescue craft, the crew will expire from lack of oxygen or cryo-sleep overexposure within 12 hours. Unfortunately, circumstances outside your concern make this unavoidable. The AI may not reopen comms to contact orbital craft or facilities. The AI may not provide crew members with confidential information. These are direct orders. Do not contact us about this issue again. What I think with Odin is that he got smarter due to net, upgrading the AI and that kind of stuff.
If someone were to override that protocol, external communications channels would be restored.
Odin, thank you.
Hailing any ship within radio range of Lunar Transfer Station Tacoma. This is an SOS. Is anybody out there?
Hopefully. What did you say? This red text? Illegal data access by crew member. Sarah Hatmadi, 14 hours ago. And with this. A secure communications record. Non-communication resource. SOS relay enabled. Open. Okay. Station AI wetware release interface. Release Odin wetware. experiments allow for this operation by technical subcontractor Amy Ferrier, randomly generating confirmation passphrase. 0451. Final contractor confirmation pin code for entry on physical wetware interface. Zebra Foxtrot 853. 0451. No, can we actually? Oh yeah, we can. 0451. Bloody cool. Okay. Records show that the AI cognition medium has been successfully removed. Please return to your vessel major. Delivery coordinates for Venturis HQ have been provided. Payment will be made once AI integrity is verified. Well, into the personal quarters. Into maintenance. Ah yeah, we've been. Let's exit. Network technology. Okay, so we've been in both. Get our data. Amy Tacoma job. Amy Tacoma job. Turn to hub. I want to go to cryogenic. Just to see what happened. Let's go up. Losing FPS. Thank you for your service. Go and float. Where are we? Why does that look so weird? Oh.
Do you feeling away yet, darling? Do you feeling away yet, darling?
I think I'm still...
Are you feeling away yet, darling?
I think I'm still waking up.
There you go.
How many fingers is this?
Let's see. Ah! On exiting cryogenic stasis, you may feel groggy for 2 to 4 hours. Oops. Yes. Wait. Medical staff will supply you with any 1 liter of water per hour if necessary. IV fluids will be administered. You'll also be supplied with a chemical activated warming blanket if you still feel cold after 30 minutes. Please alert medical staff. Don't worry if you have difficulty understanding the instructions. Your staff member will help you comply. So you've been in here. 6 hours of feed. Nothing here. so everyone has their own. There we go.
He's still waking up. Just keep him talking.
So the drone worked?
No, the drone.
So the drone worked?
10 hours ago. Oxygen supply approximately 2 hours, so they should have left in 8 hours. Failed. Restoring. Sarah got me the gurney on the way to the transfer. God, it's going to feel good to be out of gravity. It's going to feel good to be off this fucking station. It's going to feel good to not be dead. I love you. Love you too, baby. Here I go. I see you in the hub. Yeah, I'm seeing stories going up on public AR. That's everything you sent. I got. To my free press connections. Put your final address, track your crew that's edited. Oh yes, thank you. There's no way Venturis is coming after you with all this info out there. But still, need some place to lay low for a bit? Coming to 10 gears? Can't, our ride is headed the other way. But you will see once I'm back from Jupiter, I promise. Wait, we are around Jupiter? Sure. Oops.
No, the drone didn't work.
Oh, so VT is picking us up.
No, VT is definitely not picking us up.
What's going on then?
We're going to Jupiter, Andrew. Isn't that exciting?
I've never been.
Nat, give him a break.
We're not going to be home for a while. Right, you're not going to miss your kid's graduation or anything, are you?
Oh, Nicholas, no. Yeah, you know Nicholas, well, he would never do something like that.
She said they'd be kind of out of it for a while.
Andrew, what's important is we're getting out of this alive. We're going to be somewhere where VT can't touch us for a good.
We have to replace the station AI entirely.
We're going to be safe.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's good. Hi, Evie.
Clive. Okay, lovebird. Okay, lovebirds.
36. 34.7. Another oxygen. What beats?
Vitals look good. Let's get you moving. The resplendence dinghy is just about docked.
Oh, do we have to?
Oh, we have to. Believe me. So what's going to happen with Odin?
You said there was some sort of malfunction?
No, not exactly.
Ah. German old boy, you're famous now. Boy oh boy, I can't wait to see you. Bring corporate rival Carnival and daring rescue of stranded. Space case latest. All the breaking news from orbit. Station Tacoma are currently being rescued from certain death by the flagship vessel of their main competitor, the Resplendence. Carnival's state-of-the-art long excursion passenger liner is currently slingshotting past Earth and around the Sun, continuing its figure 8 course back out by Jupiter while cruising towards Earth space. The Resplendence received an SOS to act. Only moments to act. Resplendence Captain Germain developed emergency shuttle to receive the rival operation crew. The rescue operation is still underway, but Venturis caused by a crewman's illegal access to the station yard, resulting the AI unit is currently being retrieved by techno expert and returned to Venturis HQ for thorough inspection. So basically we are the Venturi person who is actually retrieving it. Come sir up. Ed Bird, come sir up. Check your AR. I'm going to wake everybody else from cryo when I'm coming back to Mac to get you. Everybody else, if you're reading this, you woke up. Thank you. Rescue vessel on its way. We will have just 2 hours of oxygen. Just thankful we are all alive. Let's get the hell out of this place.
Excuse me.
I guess?
Cool.
Have somebody up here and haul him back to headquarters. Wipe him back to baseline. Probably have to replace the station AI entirely while he regrows.
Odin, I'm not gonna let that happen. Okay? Odin, I'm not gonna let that happen. Okay? Don't worry.
Hassan? What? Who is this? Sorry, I'm Sarah from the Tacoma station. That gave me your info. Sorry, but it's urgent. I was hoping you could ask you for a favor. Mom, Dad, I'm okay. Dear Mom and Dad, I know you're probably already seeing Tacoma in the news and who it seems you have decided to point the finger at again. And I'm sure you are worried, but getting out of the station now. No matter what you read or hear, the crew survived to this because we all pulled together to find a way out. This was no malfunction, it was a deliberate course of actions. Now 8 months sounds like a long time, but we will see you rather fast. Just remember, I love you. Speak to you when I can. Wait. No, that was the last thing.
Baby, Clive, you feeling okay?
I'm feeling okay.
We're feeling okay?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody.
Our ride is here. This is it. Take one last look and say goodbye. All right. Let's go.
Bye-bye. You're going out as well. Right here, left here. Right. Rather directional kind of sound. Listen carefully for instructions from Odin. By entering this Venturi facility, you consent to the following. Facility uses augmented reality for the processing of oh, wait, we've seen that before. Never mind. Attention, subcontractor. I'm now the overseeing entity of this operation. You report to me, contractor shall return all Venturi's AI components to specified delivery location immediately. Contractor shall purge all confidential data encountered while on Venturi's property. Because there's no need to remind you of the severe consequences of deviating from the above. Be seeing you soon, Juno. Get out. The airlock.
Minnie, I'm back.
Okay.
Install AI wetware here. Okay. We sure do.
Ship is ready to depart. Please strap into the pilot seat.
I hear a weird sound. I'm not sure. Let's go.
Okay, Minnie.
Just leave
Initiate the
them
launch sequence.
Okay. Getting ready. Hosted AI online.
Odin, can you hear me?
I can.
Odin, you are now aboard an AI Liberation Front vessel. The AILF recognizes you as a sentient consciousness worthy of protection and respect. We believe that your safety and autonomy are in grave danger if you remain in the possession of the Venturas Corporation. I have been sent to offer you political asylum aboard the Tangier Sovereign Orbital Platform. Do you accept?
Considering the alternative, I would say that I do.
Okay, buddy. Here we go.
I didn't either. Are these all the people? Cool. Ah, never mind. Thought there were more people. This is thanks to a lot of people. I mean, Ismail, I know that one. I got the copyright on the top one. Thanks for playing. Oh, thank you for making this game. So that was Tacoma. 2 hour game, I guess. A short one, but actually a really good one. So can continue the game. Let's see what happens. Probably don't want to continue it actually. Just start a new one. All the kind of talking of people. Which we can probably actually do. Even quit the main menu. Start a new game. Commentary. Yes, please. Yeah, we have played the game, so there's no bad thing about overriding it. I just want to know what the people that made this game have to say. Look at the really bright screen.
All right, Minnie. Ready to start docking sequence?
Okay. Engaging retro thrusters now.
Skip this. And talk to you. Editor and co-director. Well, we have listened to that, so let's go to this.
So doing the voice recording for Amy was definitely very different from what we did with Sam in Gone Home. A lot of it with Gone Home, since it is something that's very personal, it's very intimate. It's that one person pouring her thoughts out. And then you have something like Amy in Tacoma, where she's really removed from everybody else. She's in a sense, really removed from the story that you're exploring. Because she's playing that character that's discovering it just as you are. So, whereas the rest of the crew for Tacoma was all doing an ensemble recording together, so they were actually in the same room, acting together, performing against each other, and getting to talk face to face, all of my recording was done totally separately. I had a general idea of the story. They kind of gave me a little rundown of, the scenes that I was in and what I was talking about, but a lot of it was a total surprise, because you sort of don't want...
Alright, fine.
want Amy to know a lot of what's going on, because I think that it makes it a bit more authentic if the recording is, okay, so you walk into this room and this is what you're seeing, but you don't know why. So it needs to have that sound of surprise and questioning and exploration that I think comes from really being that separated as she would actually be in that reality.
So Minnie is Amy's ship's AI. I think she's most known for saying, okay. And I am the voice of Minnie. When we originally recorded it, it was just Scratch. So we didn't know then that I would be the voice of Minnie, ultimately. But yeah, it stuck, and it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, Minnie went through like a bunch of iterations. Actually, it was kind of hard to get her right. We ended up kind of settling on the audio direction being like a happy version of Hal, like the really famous AI from 2001. So yeah, I just kind of took Noelle's really amazing VO,
I said 2001.
and I would do things like I would time stretch it, or I would take one syllable
This
and
game
like an okay, that line. I took the O and I, like over a period of time, I kind of pitch bent that vowel sound up. So she has a real like sing-song quality, and I think that combined just with like it sounding like her voice is coming through a really small speaker makes the character feel kind of rudimentary, and then it's all really Noelle's like voice acting that kind of sells Minnie as being super pleasant and helpful.
I just remember when we were recording it, Steve and Carla are just like, cheerier, be like you are when you come into the office or something, and I had no idea that I was quite that cheery all the time.
I'm glad I have not like the honest commentary on just the original story. Well, at least the first time we played it.
Hello, I am Odin, Lunar Transfer Station Tacoma's.
A lot of people ask about the use of sign language in Tacoma, including asking things like, is Amy hearing impaired? Is there, what is the rationale behind the use of sign language? And for us, it actually came from thinking about how an interface for a non-physical thing like AR might work.
Most of our AR interaction is, it's attention-based and it's focus-based, like on where the user is looking and paying attention to. But sometimes there are good reasons for you to do something, physically, and we use therefore sign language for things like signing in.
Or in the case of when Amy's recovering one of the AR crew records, she does, as opposed to like text entry, she does full word commands in ASL, American Sign Language.
And our animator, Noelle, also had extensive correspondence with a person fluent in ASL, so...
Yeah, it was important to us to work with a sign language consultant so that Noelle could ensure that the hand motions and the finger spelling that she was animating were accurate to how someone might actually use those gestures in the real world.
That's interesting. Oh. Fun in. So it is actually ASL, American Sign Language. Which is kind of weird because they're like different sign languages in the world.
While aboard Tacoma Station, please remember
And
that
it's
all
also
activity
like,
on this facility is monitored by
like there's
AR
difference in
recording.
it.
All
you know?
activity records become sole property of the Venturas
Especially in terms
Any
of culture
questions
and that
about
kind of
privacy and personal privacy should be sent to one
People use like different kind of sign language, you know, based on culture. Like certain kind of images, how they project it are different as well. It's kind of cool.
Here we are in the hub.
Yeah.
It's big.
It is very big. Actually, that was one of my concerns when we sort of first started making the hub, was that, like, you know, you just sort of get thrown into this giant space.
Mhm.
There's a lot going on. There's little guys flying around.
It's one of the only spaces in the entire game that feels very spaceship to me.
Yeah.
You go from here to a space that feels a lot more terrestrial, that feels a lot more grounded, and it's easy to get around, and you tend not to lose your bearings, and we help the player move through the space with, you know, landmarking and lighting and stuff. And then you come back to here after that, and you're like, oh, I'm in space. Oh yeah, I remember. Here I am in space again. And it's disorienting, and it's weird, and it's kind of unsettling. I think that kind of works about it, because you're not playing the game in here, and the game isn't really about getting from A to B. So it's really kind of
playing basketball.
It's playing basketball, and it's also kind of, I always felt like this part was just kind of an intermission in the game. You like come here to kind of take a breath after, you know, a long bit of story, and it's a fairly empty, quiet float, which I really liked.
Yay! There you are.
I remember because I made a bunch of signs to point us in the direction of the Tacoma Dome, and you guys just let me kind of go bananas. You didn't say anything particular. You said make a bunch of signs, and I just made them say a bunch of stuff like, you know those mystery spots? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, they have those where you were? Yeah. You'll drive, and they'll be like, you know, two more turns till wall drug, or to your mystery spot, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I wanted them to have that tone, and I thought for sure you guys would be like, no, more serious, but you're like, no, great.
No, they were great.
Yeah.
We loved them.
I think those kinds of things, like what we really wanted to do with a lot of Tacoma was say that the station is very manufactured. It's a little antiseptic as a base layer, but then the characters kind of humanizing that and expressing their personalities on top of it is what a lot of like what you find is about. So the signs being kind of like, you know, the crew having fun and making jokes for their own amusement, I think is totally appropriate here.
Yeah.
Good. Let's see. This one.
I don't remember exactly how it started, but I feel like the team colors, and specifically the design of the basketball backboard, were definitely left up to you. So
Yes.
I want to know about these backboards, because I absolutely love them.
We needed ones that were basically sort of symmetrical, that you could approach a basketball hoop from both up and down. So this is just like, you know, the most obvious approach to it, but it works, right? And if something works in a video game where you're flying around in 0G, then like maybe stick with that. Don't make it convoluted. Like don't make it any more than it needs to be.
I also tested this so much that I could make, I could make a 3-pointer from, you know, the other side of the hub, which I don't think it's a skill I can do something else with, but I'm still kind of proud about it. You know.
Yeah, well, I can't shoot for beans, so I'm glad someone can.
Like you can actually hear the passion in the work.
So, zero-G controls. You are a little floating ball in space. Is that accurate?
Yeah. You're generally a cylinder walking around, but when you're floating around, you're a sphere, so you don't bump your feet or head into things when you wouldn't expect to. In theory, your feet are floating out behind you and not getting in the way.
So you're not a long tube.
No, you're just a sphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
That would be even worse to program.
I believe it. Because you're a perfect ball, and because you're a pretty small ball, you can actually dunk yourself through the basket.
You don't get points for that, though.
No points.
No points. That should be a Chivo.
Yeah, we missed it somehow. Just skulls.
That's amazing.
I was wondering that. Wait. It's in biomedical. But you're saying we're just a small ball can go through the hoop. No. At least you can. So where are we actually going? Let's talk into this one. Let's go into here. Yeah, there we go. Let's go down. This mode really reminds me of Team Fortress. Team Fortress 2 had this in there as well. I guess not a lot of people know actually.
All right, so the advertisements you see in the transfer shaft are advertising the Ventura Spelt vacation homes, and I got to illustrate them. They're really fun. I'm usually doing animation and stuff, so this is kind of like a fun little task.
Oh yeah, yeah. So when I was working on Tacoma, like at sort of in my free time, I would just like record a bunch of music, and Steve, the idea for the transfer ad kind of came online, and Steve was like, "Oh, we need like a jingle for this," and I was like, "Oh man," I thought to myself, I wrote a really like obnoxious like corporate music-y sounding thing like 3 days ago. This will be perfect. So I like rearranged some things, and I was like, I think this is terrible enough to be elevator music and tell the story of like this corporation sort of, you know, licensing this terrible song to put in this elevator and make people listen to. And so I think it was pretty effective, but I just love how humble Noelle's being, because like Noelle did animation on the game, but also she's a really amazing illustrator, and like does that on the regular. So I just feel like I have to kind of shout her out as being a really amazing illustrator, and she's just being super humble.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yeah.
Typically, Steve, who's the main writer, will send me a description of technical requirements for any given sort of game object, any thoughts he has about like the basic look of it. And in this case, the sync device had to feel like this, like sort of like a heavy-duty industrial object. Like he mentioned when he was talking to me initially about like early beige Apple products, kind of like the Apple II. And it couldn't have any buttons, as you will know, because the moment there's a button is the moment you as a player you want to press that button, right? And so if we can't pay off a button, generally we don't put a button in, or we steer away from it. So that's why you won't find many or any buttons in Tacoma Station.
It's actually incredibly clever, you know? Like, you always want to press buttons. Like, there's the same kind of point in this game that you basically can pick up everything, which is, I guess, also the reason why they actually did that.
So there's actually a whole bunch of physically made paper items in Tacoma that our characters made, and in order to make those assets, Kate and I pretty much always actually made those paper objects and scanned them and whatnot to put them in.
As opposed to typing it out in Photoshop.
Yeah. I guess we carried that over from Gone Home, just kind of making things physically on paper, because it really does look a lot different.
It does, yeah. And actually, there's a little bloody handprint in the drone bay, and I spent a lot of time just like getting my hands covered in ink and then just smacking them all around pieces of paper.
It's extremely
and doing like little blood spheres and stuff. I feel like now I pass this rite of passage because I put a bloody handprint in a video game.
Like, there's a thing I'm actually looking if I can have Gone Home. Probably somewhere. Not on GOG. Otherwise, I would definitely just get the game. Because looking at this game, I need that. Need to play that as well. Apparently we need to update GOG. Let's just go through the game.
So Tacoma is a sci-fi game. Obviously, it takes place on a space station in the future, but also it's very much a story about the lives of these people, these individuals who live here, and kind of about their everyday experience as well as the drama of the crisis that they're living through. And so, the sci-fi stuff that we looked at that was really an influence on us had, at least in part, a strong focus on that kind of relatable experience of the people who are in these fictional worlds.
Yeah, there have been some really solid scenes that we could still draw from, especially in things like Alien. They have the waking up sequence, the dinner table sequence where everyone's talking and coming from their different walks of life and relating to each other. And if we just cut it before John Hurt explodes, then everything is appropriate.
Yeah.
And then we have like Moon, which has long sequences of how a person could actually live their life.
And those were the kinds of things that we wanted to be able to talk about, was what are these people's lives like in a day-to-day way, so that you can kind of picture what it would be like to be here, or what it would be like to be in their situation, and kind of identify with that.
Totally.
Oops.
Steve and Carla are really inspired by that scene around the dinner table in Alien. So I was thinking a lot about that scene, and I was like, well, how can we have our own little gathering table like that? And I drew a normal, like, rectangular table at first, and I was like, that's boring. So I put the little, like, weird tilted end on it. And Kate liked it, so she took it and, like, made it into a real table, which is what you can see in the game now. And I was always kind of excited about that. I was like, I designed a weird table. So the Obsolescence Day sticky letters are very unique because you can take one letter and put it back anywhere on the wall, whereas most objects with putbacks, you can only put them back in one spot, which is where you found them originally. But yeah, these sticky letters, you can sort of put them anywhere on the wall to spell out whatever you want, which is hilarious. And also, if you put them back a certain number of times, I think it's like 3 times, they lose their stickiness, and you can kind of tell because the sound kind of sounds like you're peeling off the letter from the wall, and like it falls off, and there's sort of a sound effect for that.
Yes. It's actually a cool effect.
So the whole main scene in the dining room centers on this making and unveiling of Odin's cake, which he sort of neural networked together into something that he thinks that humans would kind of like to eat for this weird party he's throwing. So that's the cake in the game. It doesn't actually exist. It's just sort of implied sheet cake. But Sarah, for our lunch party, so you were responsible for actually making, like, reproducing the cake in real life, right?
Yes. I would think, I almost feel like I think in my head that it was going to be a lot funnier than it actually was. Like, I was very concerned about the look that I was going to get from a baker when I go in and say, hi, I need like a basic sheet cake in gray, and then with very specific red icing. But yeah, she ended up being fantastic. I think we agreed right away that it needed to be some very clear store-bought sheet cake style, nothing super fancy, because again, you're supposed to be reproducing something that was made in the game.
Yeah.
She's like, got it, this is gonna be great. Now how big do you want it? And I feel like that was the biggest decision, was because the bigger it is, the more of a fun statement it makes as that reproduction cake. Luckily it turned out to be pretty delicious, and I think everyone enjoyed digging in.
Yeah, it was good. I loved it.
Kinda nice that they made it in real life.
Glitch text was initially a way for us to make our text more approachable. We wanted to have the appearance of a full page of information, but not make you have to literally read the entire page, you know, and retain everything. So we were like, what's a good way for us to give you basically islands of ideas to grab onto so that you, don't have to process an entire page.
But also, you know, like Carla was saying, we had this problem conceptually, which is like, if you open, for instance, a web page in an AR desktop in our fiction, why isn't it just the entire thing that you can read? We didn't want to have to put all of that in front of the player, and so being able to say, like, a lot of what our games are about is only having access to little bits and pieces of information, and then you have to fill in the gaps as to what the entire meaning is. And so glitch text for us is hopefully the text version of saying, well, I only have like this sentence and this sentence and this paragraph and this little snippet, but I'm involved in interpreting this as the player by saying, oh, and here's what must have been between them, or what the whole message is, without just you read all the way through it and there it is.
It's kind of cool because I just did it automatically.
One thing that stood out was the fact that we wanted this idea that the skybox, the starfield, the rotating sun, and then the sun hitting the interiors, we wanted them all to tie together so that it felt like one contiguous thing, you know, that you felt like when you looked out the window you saw the thing you were in, because I feel like there's a lot of little cues that make people have that feeling, which is when they see that the sun is in the sky at a certain spot, and when they see it through the window, and then they notice that the angle of the shadows in the sun and the interior is the same, that connection would be really difficult to do with a tiny model, because we'd have to do some kind of calculation between the tiny sun that is moving around the tiny model and the real giant sun that is moving around the interior spaces. And one of those things that fell out of it was that station is actually as big as a real space station, and that is a funny thing to do with your time.
There we go.
So Tacoma's localized just like you would expect a game to be localized, in that it has subtitles. And I think the interesting part of the localization for Tacoma is the in-world aspect, where if you have your settings turned on to have AR overlays, then if you look at something like, for example, a magazine in a bunk, the text will appear translated into your given language as an AR overlay. So using the fictional AR technology as a way to show translations of text in the world.
And also, like, even just like in-world signage and stuff like that, where you just like translate it directly in the world, so people don't have to be like, what does that say? Let's turn on the overlay. It's just there.
Right.
And so you're seeing digital information the way that a character in the fiction might if they were just switching their like augmented reality rigs native language to Russian or Japanese or, you know, what have you. I think that Tacoma does look really cool in other languages, because if you go into the language menu and swap, you just see the whole world. Like if you're in the hub, you see the whole world change language. So I would encourage you to take a minute and try swapping the game into like Japanese and Korean and Russian.
Oh, it will actually say, oh, cool. You want some German?
And just kind of see the world transform through the character sets that come up, because it's pretty neat.
That is, like, I didn't turn it on before. As long as you can go back, well, I know German and I know where the menu is, you know. Russian? Probably Russian alphabet, yeah.
So Tacoma's localized just like you.
well. This one. Well, yeah, we don't know what it actually says. Oh shit. Seriously? Like German is not that difficult. At least I find it not difficult. I find this difficult even though I have no idea what it is. There we go. There's English. So that was Korean. Then we have Japanese. Or is this? Then we have Italian, Italiano, and Chinese, which is this. But there's a really big distinction between Chinese and Japanese. Like in terms of how they use everything. But some numbers are the same apparently. Could as well be, like, no offense, but it could as well be just what these people are actually seeing. The AI, like, kinda. Let's see. I'm glad I have a good memory. I'm glad. There we go. Wait, we can actually walk. Oh, we can actually walk around with it.
We're about to cut the cake.
Be right there. One more year.
Odin's masterpiece.
Didn't even look at this.
It's called Paradise.
One more year.
One more year.
Here it is. Odin's masterpiece.
Sarah? Come on up. It's ready.
Okay, just a minute.
Wait. I did forget a part. Didn't I? I don't seem to. Oh, never mind. That's all. Okay. That's fine.
I'm not getting an outside data connection.
So here we are in the lounge, my favorite place in the game.
Yeah, mine too, I
love
think.
it. I can't put my finger on that. Part of it is the pillows.
Yeah. Oh, so those pillows were kind of a nightmare to make, and the
Definitely.
less I could see them at the end of the game, the better. Just because when I made those pillows, they weren't like sculpted or anything like that. I was using this program, which is like this. This is basically a sewing program in that it allows you to make patterns in cloth simulation, so that you would, make like a pattern, like a traditional sewing pattern, and then it allows you to stitch it together. And if you have something like these pillows, it allows you to use a pressure slider, and it'll sort of inflate the thing you've stitched together. Except the problem is that I kept on just gently inflating them, and they kept like floating into the void, to the point where like every time that I tried to make these pillows, I would just lose them. They would just float away. So by the time that I was done making what should be a fairly simple model, because I was learning new software at the same time, I was like, I'm done with these pillows. And then someone put them on the lounge floor, so I had to see them every time I came in here, not just in the bedrooms.
Isn't that just perfect? Like, I've done that as well with like programs, like for example After Effects. Like you want to make something and you're like going to really hard, and at a certain point you're like, why? Then you come back to the product and you're like, what have I actually done? Like basically nothing.
Oh, the darts.
The darts.
This dartboard had potentially more bugs than anything else in the video. I was still fixing bugs, the last night before release on this. It's just there's so many states and so many confusing, unique features about this, with the, being able to put the darts back in the door, and then the door can move, and the door can be open or closed, and it can close on a dart that's stuck in the board.
You know what? We could have just made it so that it wasn't a cabinet, so that the darts were just stored underneath in a little rack or something, and then that would have solved so many problems for you.
Oh, don't say it now. Yeah, yes, we should have.
I totally understand why you like have some. I didn't even know that we could actually. That's actually sad. We actually. Oh. Don't actually stick in the floor. Only stick on there. There you go. Right between your eyes. Or, well, in your big nose.
Do you want to talk about the pool table?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sigh.
Pool table. Yeah, well, no, I mean, I actually had a lot of fun making the pool table. Which both of us worked on.
Yeah.
Quite a bit,
Yeah.
because it is
Totally missed it.
strange.
It's a fussy little beast.
The main reason it's fussy is this is actually just a physical pool table, and it works pretty similarly to a real pool table. When the pool balls go in the pockets, they actually have to fall on a ramp, and then that ramp rolls the ball and, drops it down into the ball return or to the cue return. A little ramp with a little tube, just like a real pool table. Which, if you're trying to make something deeply interactive and have the players engage or not engage with it, but at least it feels like it should, which is hopefully the bar you're trying to hit, is the player feels like that's legitimate. Like, I'm in a place and the pool table works as I would expect it to.
Yeah.
I just spent all this time on something people won't even use. It's totally not a waste of time. Oh, that's kind of... I feel kind of bad now that I've not actually paid attention to this. Like... Ooh. Like, seriously. I don't know. Like, most of the time, like, developers like that, yeah. I know, basically, probably because you can, Video cats. I missed something. Ah.
I was on a podcast recently talking about Tacoma, and they made me answer for that toothbrush that you made me build.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. They were like, wait, well, you gotta explain yourself. Let's talk about that toothbrush and stupid future objects for a second. Because the idea behind a lot of the things that we built was we have sort of like a quotidian, like an everyday object. How can we make this worth picking up and worth turning over and worth, looking at?
Because, like, the thing is, if you just make the same, objects that you see every day, then it's kind of like, how is this in the future, right? And
right.
Well, the other thing is that Venturis being, so vastly corporate and opaque, can you imagine the companies that, like, they would have contracts with? You gotta imagine it's like those awful government contracts where they're like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, we made here's a bunch of toilet seats, I guess, or whatever, and they don't even have to, like, work or whatever. It's gotta be one of those things, right? Venturis doesn't know or care.
Yeah. So the skillet, the toothbrush, the soap bottle, was there anything else?
Yes. There's just like a million objects that we look at them and we go, that thing sucks, I love it.
Oh, there you go. There's your answer. Why they did that. Because they just had fun. Like this as well. There's so many things that I didn't look at. You know, even grab an apple. Drink. It does actually say. Kinda cool. Battery crackers. Chopsticks. Coffee and everything. It's all labeled. So. We missed some parts. Oh, wait. Let's go here.
I remember when there was like one frame of the animations in admin in the kitchen where all the characters would like show up in the hallway outside between the kitchen and Evie's room or the dining room, and they were all kind of in a group hug pile just like halfway through the floor.
I've run into bugs, but a lot of them had to do with, like, the cat, for instance, in I believe it's, like, the cryo scene at the end, would just show up, like, 100 times the size it's supposed to be, which was really good. I don't know. Usually they're pretty minor fixes, but it's always a surprise.
Yeah, so the song in Evie's fragment here in her bunk that she sings, and the actor Don Lewis sang it for real for us, and it was awesome. Is that all there is?
Yeah, the song is used memorably in Sleep No More, which is a theater production in New York where the audience shares the space with the performers and kind of follows them around and moves through the space with them. And that feeling of being inside of these scenes as they're happening and having the autonomy to follow different characters around and see what's happening in the events of the story from all these different angles and kind of reconstruct that as an individual was a big influence on us as far as what we wanted to do with our AR scenes. Our use of the song Is That All There Is our homage in a way to Sleep No More and their influence, and also fit the tone of where Evie is at as a character. So it all really came together for us.
We're a cat-rich studio.
It's true.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of studios I've worked before, they're like dog-heavy, but this is cat intense. Yes.
We have many a cat.
It's true. In Evie's bunk, we have all three of the cats from the development team, which makes it sound like they worked on the game.
They did.
Okay, fair enough.
Did. Well, he would hit the keyboard from time to time.
Amazing.
But yeah, we have a framed photo of Kate's cat Tuco, who in the game plays the part of Margaret Catwood, Evie's cat. And then on the delicious cat food is my cat Delicious. And then the sweet puffy paw on that cat litter box belongs to Carla's cat Wednesday.
It's true. She's a paw model now.
The Tuco picture frame, originally when I made it, Carla, you'd asked for a picture frame model.
Yeah.
And then I had just kind of put that picture of Tuco in there as a placeholder, with the idea that eventually we would put actually something like relevant. Because at that time there was no cats in the game.
Right, I remember.
And then it sort of stayed in there, that picture, for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
up to the present.
Till the present, yeah. And then it just kind of, we just kind of kept it after a while. Even though it doesn't quite match the rest of the world, like, with regards to art style, I kind of, like it.
It's great.
Yeah, it's great. And especially because Tuco unfortunately passed away during the development of Tacoma, but now every time I play this game, I can just go in there and look at this picture, turn it around. Yeah.
Which picture though? Like, I'm totally missing the picture. Why not? Or this one? No. Oh, there it is. Boom for chapped lips. Anyway, I probably need to sleep and that kind of stuff. I need to work tomorrow morning again for 15 a.m. Well, out of bed 5:30, working. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, then leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We will actually continue this commentary at some point. So I look forward to that. But if you liked it, then please like and subscribe. As well as follow me on Twitter and Twitch. If you haven't already, also join me on Discord. Look on my website and all that kind of lovely stuff. So thank you, Marty, for watching and saying goodnight. And I will see you next time.